looking good, everybody. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay, let's do it, guys. This is a literally every single step tutorial. Remember to test the canvas with your face. Make sure. Now, we're going to be using our Bob Ross, actually our Grumbacher's liquid white today. And as you can see, I've got the last bit of my Grumbacher's kind of very full up to the top of this lid. So we're just going to take a little bit of that stuff. Just like that, a little bit. We may need to add some more, we might not, right? We're going to put a big old X right across this entire canvas. And then we're going to start to blend it out. Now, you do not need a lot of this liquid white, so when you put it up there, really scrub it on and make sure that it is nice and evenly spread. And like I said, most of the time you don't need to go back and get more, you just need to work it out more, right? Spread it further, work it more into one space, and then check it and make sure, right? Now let's do this bottom section, this quadrant down here. We'll do the bottom right quadrant down here. And we'll push it and blend it and make sure that we're not adding any excess paint to the canvas until it's nice and evenly spread across. Lots of pressure, right? Come up here to the top left. I'm using some of that paint that we initially dropped on right there, so I'm pushing it, trying to spread it around, getting it all over our canvas, nice and quick like. You don't need too much paint, that's for sure, and the more paint that you use, the harder it is to do the technique. You want it nice and thin. Now we've done our top left, okay? Now there's not much paint down here, so what I'm gonna do is get the tiniest bit more. And that's probably even too much for that bottom section, so we're gonna try to mush it out across the canvas and then just work it in real good. Now, your easel might be shaking all over the place at home because mine is screwed into the ceiling and you can't really see that on the screen, right? But it's screwed into the ceiling so it's nice and sturdy and it doesn't shake about too much. And here's how you're going to test to make sure that you've got just enough of that liquid white on our canvas, right? We're going to go across our whole thing. Then we're going to pick 5 random spots, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right in the center. And you can see we don't have much down around this area. So let's add just a little touch more, little bit. That's how you're going to test and make sure. There we go. There we go. You do not need it to be goopy. You don't want it to be overly sticky. It gets especially like that when you have too much. You just spread it out, spread it out, spread it out. Make sure it's across our entire canvas, right? Once we get it across, then we can check it again and make sure that everything is nice and fabulous, okay? And it all depends on that right amount, right? So we're gonna wipe off our fingers so there's no more. Not going off too fresh, okay? Come up here, touch, 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 touch. Okay, now, where did we go? We came up in this corner. That's where we're missing it. So again, teeny tiny amount of paint and then spread. You do not want to have too much. And on a bigger canvas, you always need a little bit more than on a smaller canvas, Josh. That's why, last time, check it. There, golden. That's all we're gonna need. Now, let's get a little bit of our oil paints out today. We're gonna be using some of our ultramarine blue from Meaden. Looks a lot like this. If you've never seen it before, it looks just like that. Fabulous. Really cool little color, I love it. You can use phthalo blue or ultramarine blue, phthalo blue or Prussian blue. If you don't have those, that's what you can use. And I don't think we'll need much else. Okay, so we've got our dioxazine purple, our phthalo green, ultramarine blue, alizarin crimson we probably won't use, midnight black we're going to use a little bit of, and then our titanium white, like always. So you guys check in real quick. Just tell me where you're watching from out there around the world. Check in, and I'm going to start dropping paint on top of this canvas. We're going to start blending it out. Are you ready? Are you ready? Okay, so we're going to take our brush right through our ultramarine blue. Come down here, let's start dropping it on. Now, as we start dropping it on to our canvas and pushing it and mushing it, right, it's going to look a little bad if we just leave it just like that, right? But let's just say, the more and more and more we work it in with that liquid white paint that's on there, the more it's going to blend out and become this softer thing, and you can push it harder and harder and harder in order to blend out all of those streaks, right? You're just using a lot of pressure. So that sky became very much, you've got a lot of distance in there with a couple of these little bits of streaks as well. Now, we're not going to take all the time to blend it out just yet. Just wanted to show you a little bit what can happen And then we're gonna leave a big old patch kind of off center left of our sky up here, right? Just a monstrous patch. We don't wanna come down too far below our halfway line. That's gonna be about our horizon line right there. So let's not go down too far. And let's not put on too much paint. Let's do the sides though. We have to cover the sides, but then the top with a little bit of paint. So we might as well get it done while we're up here. Mush it on the canvas, cover the edges, at least with a little bit of color, and it'll look that much more done. Right? You ever gone up and slapped the side of the canvas and you leave a weird brush mark on the side, but you don't notice it until you finish? That's what's gonna happen. Now, let's say our blue sky's up here, so why don't we take our little bit of black and a little bit of purple. Now, we don't wanna have too much purple on the brush, because when we start to overtake over this blue, that purple grows real far. See that? It's fantastic. Look at it. We put too much paint up there, though. It's gonna grow too far, so don't do too much, okay? We don't want to have too much, and you can always put your hand, see my hand right here, kind of like Alien. It's like, put your hand in between that center beam that's back there, and then you can blend out those areas, right? Now, we can't very well blend our sky with a whole brush full of color. So we need to go wash this guy out into our odorless mineral spirits, and then we'll be all set, right? All set-a-rooshki. Now, you guys, as we start to get closer to finishing this painting, you guys are going to have to come up with a title for this painting, and then Phyllis is going to have to choose. Rife Creations, they got this painting before the show even started, so they're going to get to choose what the name of the painting is by the end, and they may just pick your title if you got a cool enough one. Now, let's always come up into the brightest section of our sky, which is this untouched bright area. We're going to start to crisscross our brush like this, just back and forth, or little circles, doesn't matter, however you do it. Watch, we can get out here into our blue and start blending it, even with little circles, right? Bringing some of that color back over here, getting some white, bringing it out there, bringing some of the color back over here, and just blending it, right? That's all we're doing. A little bit of a blend. So we're working from that light area, right, out into our blue first, allowing some of the blue to crisscross back into our light area. It's not just going to stay perfectly white, and that's okay. All we need is a little bit less paint on our brush and on our canvas when we're in this section, right? So if we leave it unpainted, then it gives these two colors room to grow. Okay, we'll come down here and we'll start pushing on. Sometimes we turn the brush horizontally so you can push with more pressure and get that pressure and push it out, right? Whether we're painting or whether we're in the bathroom, pressure, guys. It's a joke. Don't push too hard. You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. Not in the bathroom. Push hard up here, though. Right? We gotta push with it. You have to allow it to blend in with that light color, that white paint that is still wet on our canvas, right? You have to allow it to mix. So you gotta push on it a lot and let it blend, let it overtake that little light colored area, and push and push and push. Now, the harder you push on the paint, the more it's going to blend out softly. That's the whole thing, right? Once it starts blending out softly, then we know that it's gonna look really cool, right? All you gotta do is push on it soft. Get it out there, blend it out, 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 right? The more that you push, the more it'll intermix with the blue and the unpainted white area of the canvas. Well, it's just the liquid white. It is painted over with liquid white, but it'll blend in with that guy. And then you just push on it, back and forth until you get this soft gradient blend. See these two stripes in here? If you don't like them, get in there with more pressure. More pressure. Push them further. Get them out of there, man. Push it. Get out. There we go. Very cool. Again, the more you mix it, the more it's all going to be the same. So if you want to have those differences in there, then you have to leave those differences in there, right? Now let's come out with a couple, just a big old section of white clouds right out into our painting. It's just going to be gorgeous, right? We're going to grab up our titanium white. We're going to come over here, and because our lighter section, and then we had that darker band of color in there, if we start right in here, we just start plopping it, bang, just kind of mushing, turning the brush, rotating it, getting all this color everywhere, and then we're going to make it big enough right here in order for our brush to grab it, right? We have to allow our brush to grip something. So if it's not a big enough mess, then you're not going to be able to grip it as easily. Right? If it's a very small little blob up there, it's going to blend away very quickly. Right? What we're going to do, dabbing off our brush, even using the same one, didn't clean it, just dabbed it off on a paper towel. Come back over here, start mixing it up. And as we mix it up, it starts to blend with our sky. And the more that we push down here on the bottom, right, more pressure, blending it out, making the white literally disappear into the sky, the more it's going to look like that cloud is just kind of fading into nothing. Right? We've got our big old white parts on the top, which are very lightly going over, just very, very, very light little touch over there. More pressure along the bottom, blending it out, making it softer. Right? That little softness in there. Now, what if we came back and did another little guy? Just a little guy, right? We started up in our bright area. We need to work down into the darkness where we can't tell where the cloud is anymore. And then, poosh. We just pop a little floater out here. Just literally. Doesn't even have to continue on. It doesn't have to look the same. We'll get up here and we'll start to mix it. The more that we mix it outwards, the more it's going to blend in with the sky, right? So we can decide how hard you want to push on that little guy. Push it hard and let it blend out more, or do you want to push it softer and let that white paint stay more white? All up to you. I like making them at least a bit darker on the bottom, blending in with those darker colors, more of that stuff happening, right? Try not to let any one part of the cloud stand out too much, right? If it's too bright, back in there and crisp it a little bit, because these are some very far away clouds in our scene. We're not really focusing on all these clouds. What if we have another little floater out here? Just a little flat little thing out there in the sky. Why not? Right? I'm going to take my brush this way, and now we're going to make our little counterclockwise circles with a full long brush, right? All the brush connected to the canvas at one go, which should make it softer, which should blend the color in a little bit more, right? And if we don't like it at all, check this out, right? Just to show you, with a little bit of pressure out here, you can blend it away. That's the best part about oil paints. Literally gone. Right? Can't tell it was there ever. It's really cool. I like that actually. I like that soft little spot right there. Okay, now let's do something else. Instead of having a cloud right there, which I showed you could literally get rid of if you didn't like it, poof, it's gone. You don't even have to deal, right? You got no dealings if it's all gone. Boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. Let's see. Looking fantastic, you guys. Quite literally. Quite literally. Pow. Okay, what if we got out here a little bit of our titanium white, get out here, and then pop out of our clouds, maybe off from the distance, and you get this kind of semi-straight line, maybe on a little angle, flying over the top, right? Now you have to soften it going one way, and then out into the sky. It's your far away little contrail. The more you mix it, the more it'll dissipate, right? And it's not supposed to be a focal point out there. It's just supposed to be out in the distance. No one's might even not notice it until you say something, until they see it. Right? And may not ever even see it. Come back up here with a little bit of cloud so we can hide where it's coming out of. A little bit more, a little bit mix, little mix, little mix, little mix. Bang! Fabulous. Love it. Okay, now let's get out here. We're gonna go with our bit of our purpley blue. We're gonna take our blue right onto the same brush. Seriously, we don't even have to wash it. Blue, purple. Okay, that's a dark color right there. Now remember, it's going to become brighter as soon as we start intermixing with our liquid white. So you've got to be careful about how much paint you put on there. And you get to decide when it's dark enough and when it's light enough and all of that. It's all up to you guys every time you do it. You get to decide, what's it going to be like? All right, what is it going to be like? Very, very cool, guys. Now, remember, dark paint, we're going to try to attempt to do the hardest thing known to an artist is by making a straight line across our canvas, okay? Now, the higher up we go, the more that darkness is going to match up with our dark part of our sky. So let's try to stay low. Let's go right there, drop it on, bang, right there. Right across, blend it out. You guys can always tell where that beam is right in the center of the canvas. A little bit darker, so let's push our canvas out towards us a little bit, and then blend that guy out. pushing it, pushing it, pushing it. Doesn't need to be the darkest thing you've ever seen. Doesn't even need to be the biggest thing that you've ever seen. We need to make it a bit bigger than that. But it doesn't have to be so dark. All we're gonna do is light it up with our white, right? Once we light it up with our white paint, then we're gonna decide how bright it gets. Now, what do you think? Is that a level horizon? Is it? Do you think? There we go. Come up a little bit on this side. There we go. Guys, seriously, the whole back horizon part of this thing almost disappears anyway, so don't worry about it too much on this painting, but that is still not level. Just still, let me blend this sky down a little bit. There, I just can't get it from standing over here. Just gotta go up even higher. Here, let's try that. Does that look level now? So I blend out all that purple color so it's not so dark. There we go, that's much more level. Perfect. All the way across. And in there, get that little, say that little bit of light right underneath our clouds back there. That is fantastic. Okay, now we're gonna go right on to our phthalo green color. Just a little bit of it. Again, you don't need a whole huge amount, and we don't need a big space of it either because we're starting to run out of room, right? So get in here with our phthalo green, kind of right underneath. Pop it down over here. Doesn't even need to be a big space, guys. The bigger the space, the more close it gets, the more crazy it's gonna start to look, right? A little bit of lighter color under there is all we need. It doesn't even need to come all the way down, but we're gonna do it anyway. There we go. A little bit of that lighter phthalo green mix, and then we're gonna add our two brown colors right onto the brush and go right down into our sand. But in this one, we don't wanna do too much brown. We don't wanna have too much paint on the brush, right? So we're just taking very small amounts initially, very small amounts, trying to drag them across, leaving a white space in between so that they can mix together. They do not need to all be touching right here. We need to give them room to grow together and mix in with that liquid white. You can go all the way up into your ocean part, just a little bit. Right? We're gonna crisscross down into it anyway. Seriously, right up in there. Letting that kind of brownish color mix in with that phthalo green. And then once we do not have so much paint on the brush, we can go dab it off on our paper towel. Dab it, 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 right? And we can start to let it intermix. You see how it's picking up that white and it's not going overly dark? This is how we do our kind of tropically white sandy-ish beachy scenes versus the Oregon scenes. We use a lot more dark brown on our sand, right? Now, keep in mind, you do not need to go and finish your sand or have it look, you know, a certain way right now. You just need to blend it, right? Once we blend it and you get that soft kind of brownish color underneath, then we'll go back and we'll speckle on all of our sprays and stuff at the end. I really like that. That's coming out really good. That's coming out fantastic, you guys. I'm digging it. I am digging it. Very cool. Okay, so once we work out our brown, we might use one more little bit, right? Too much is gonna be too much. So don't put on too much. We're gonna push it real hard now. Really gotta scrub it in and allow that color to blend back and forth, crisscrosses. Pushing on it, making sure that it mixes in and it covers up well, right? The harder you push, the more it's going to blend together. So you can decide, honestly, with the pressure, which is why the pressure is the second P of paint melange, right? The right amount of pressure, you can do anything with. Okay. Now, I'm gonna go back and paint our oceany scene. We're gonna come back in here with our palette tool. We're gonna scrape down a little bit of our titanium white, not a whole lot. Try to wipe off the paint. Get it, like, literally get it clean. That's how flat you should be pulling it, to wipe it off, right? That'll leave us a very thin line down here where we can scoop from, get a little bit of it on there. And we don't need a whole lot of back water in this scene. It's almost all waves, right? We're gonna kind of start in the middle. Well, let me tell you this. I would start in the middle, but I've done this a million times. Why don't you guys start over here a little bit lower, right? Once you've dropped off some of that paint, then you can come back up here and work it down. So we're going from a higher level to a lower spot. Down, down, down. We don't need to finish it all the way to the edge because we're gonna have some big old splashy sprays over there, right? Take a couple of these little guys and just scrape it across, back and forth, depositing some of that white almost all the way back to the horizon. It doesn't have to go all the way back. And we might lose a lot of that water, right? going to get lost by the time that we get done. So, main goal, don't do too much work, right? Let's get this one, let's drop down just a little bit, maybe fill up one little spot back there, and I'm telling you, that's pretty much it for all of our backwater. Now we're gonna start thinking about the shape of our wave and the shape of a wavelength, right? You know, the wavelength goes like this. Just like making figure eights, right? Pretty much all it is a little figure eight, back and forth. Now, what we have to decide is where we want to take our waves and how big they're going to become, right? So, why don't we scoop up a little bit of our titanium white, just like we would before. Let's put a little bit of it here and kind of just tap on, tap on, tap on, just like we do some tree bark. All right, it doesn't need to be too big. Right there, tap, 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 tap. A little bit brighter right there, as you can see, right? There's more paint there. Now we're going to wipe off our blade, and let's decide, we got this one crashing this way, so we're going to take this one just very lightly, little teeny tiny pull, and the next one next to it, a little bit more. Next one next to it, a little bit more, but you see we're not pulling straight down. We're going over to the edge, over to the corner of the canvas, over, 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 getting more horizontal. So this first one was down here, next one was here, next one was there, then there, then there, then there, then there, just like a clock, okay? Treat it like a clock. It's gonna work out a lot better for you. If you need some more paint, then add some more, but remember, it gets a little bit more like a little bird shape, a little peak at the bottom, almost like a little triangle, right? Very flat one. Now, let's come off of this guy. We know it's gonna come up, right? Making our big old wave shape, so let's dump off some right onto this guy too. Same thing, just popping the paint out there, and then we're gonna go very lightly, not straight down, right? Aiming down here instead of directly down. And the next one, a little bit more over. And the next one, a little bit over. Next one, aiming more towards the corner, right? There's not enough paint up here in order for it to do it, but you have to change those angles, okay? Promise me that you're gonna at least try to change the angles. By the time you get out here, you're very flat to the side. Working out that way, okay? In here, changing those angles every time, just very lightly, trying to deposit a little bit of that paint, get it to stick on there in a weird thing, right? Don't do too much. I'm telling you, you do too much and you're not gonna like it, okay? What if these guys, a little bit further over here, just to cover some space. That's all we need. A little space to be covered. Maybe out there, we'll continue on with our little backwater area, even though the majority of it's gonna be covered up. And now we get to come in and decide where our little water splashies get to live, right? So we'll take a little dip into our liquid white and then mix that bit into our titanium white. You want to have, it's probably like a 60-40 mix, right? 60 liquid white, 40% titanium white. You want to have that body of that thicker paint in there so that when you mix it into your little spray, it doesn't completely disappear, right? Now, we know we're going to come up and over our horizon in order to make this wavelength, right? Up and over, up and over. But we're going to start on this little guy right here. So, let's start, let's get way up here, just give it a little, way up there, even above the horizontal edge. And as we come down, we're going to stay underneath it, just smacking at the canvas. Smack, 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 getting bigger and bigger. See how we're about the same edge over here, the same height, a little U shape. And then we're going to fill in a couple little spots underneath. Now, if we make it too large, right, or too big, or go down too far, it's going to make it look really, really, really close. And as we get in here, we're going to start to mix it up. We want that titanium white to be in there so it doesn't all mix away too quickly. And you know what I'm talking about. Have you ever had liquid white up there and you just go to, and it's gone? It just disappears, right? You want to have that titanium white there, but you got to have enough liquid white also to have it come off the brush easily. Right? So you're just kind of tapping it in there, getting in that liquid white. Let's go one more time on this little guy. Little taps, little taps, little taps. You can even see the titanium white leaving little ridges and little things and little suction bits. Those are perfect, right? Because when you get back here to mix it, they're going to stay brighter for longer and not dissipate so quickly, right? And we're just very lightly mixing it. You do not want to mix it too much at all. Do not mix it too much, okay? Now, we also have to do the same thing, but in reverse. And one of these is going to be easier for you to do, and you're about to figure it out right now. You're either going to figure out that a right-hander's wave, which is going to the left, is an easier motion for our hand to make this back area. It's easier for us to do this. It's easy, right? If you're left-handed, then this side is going to be the easiest one for you. That's a left-hander's wave because it's crashing to the right. It's much more difficult for us to get that same rounded motion doing it in reverse, right? It takes a lot of practice in order to do it. So don't be mad if one of them is a little bit funky and your other one looks a little bit better. You've just found out which is your favorite wave to paint, okay? Now, we can start, you can even get way up here. Bigger, taller, and then drop down, staying right underneath that guy, right? Sometimes if you've gone too far, you're cutting up in front. You do not want to get down further than this other guy. They should be about equal, okay? Again, just smacking on the canvas. The more we go out here, the bigger smacks. The more paint that's out there with those bigger smacks, the more it's going to extend and grow out towards the edge, right? Leaving it very messy like that doesn't matter. Seriously, you're gonna get in there and brush it. Very, very lightly. Oh my goodness. Kind of just grabbing the base, the bottom of it. Right? Just so soft. A little, oh, look at that. The water's going up. Everywhere. Get in here. Again, very light. Don't be crazy. If it remains very bright, good on you, right? You put enough paint up there. It starts to dissipate and turn a little bit grayer or darker purplish, then that's okay too. It's supposed to, right? Makes this guy so soft out here that we can't even tell what's going on. Boom, baby. And if you needed to, you could add a few more guys out there. Just a couple. See how I didn't even go to the edge? Because I know that when I start to push them, they're going to grow to the edge. Yeah? Very easily, so we missed a spot right there. But it's all up to you how you want to do it. Now remember, that's just round one. Now I really like how these came out right here. So I don't need to do those again on the second round. I can go back into my liquid white, back up into my titanium white up here. And again, you want that titanium white, especially on your second go and your first go, because it's going to give you those cool little things, right? Look at all that texture in there too. Oh, fabulous. See how we didn't put as many? I'm not trying to cover it up so much. And when I come in here, should we work this way, that way, so you can see? I'm going to touch it even less, right? So I left areas untouched of paint, right? Or undisturbed. Bang. Oh, I want to mix that up so bad, but don't. Leave it, right? Just don't touch. I want to touch it so bad. Don't touch it. It makes it look so much cooler. Okay, now, we can decide whether or not we want to do our water lines or whether or not we want to do some spray onto those waves, but I'll let you guys decide that. Right now. You tell me, should we do the water lines or should we do some spray? Water lines or spray? Look at the colors, dude. Holy shaving cream. Yeah, I am going to restart the TikTok. So you guys, if you're watching me over on the talk and you're not following yet, give me a follow because I'm going to restart and then we're going to come back and you're not going to know how to find us again. So follow me over there. We got the dumb thing a while ago. I don't even care anymore, literally. This one was already purchased, so it's all good either which way. Thank you for the follows, guys. Seriously. If you like what we're doing, we're going to restart the TikTok show. So let me get it over with, knock it out. And if you're not following me, then we'll see you later. Have a great day. There we go. Okay. Now, we're going to go back over here. I'm sorry, guys. This is such a dumb thing. Literally so dumb. I don't know what. I didn't even say anything. I didn't mention my store. I didn't say anything. Did nothing. There we go. All right. So, we can come in here and, I just got my whole hand on the brush. That was no good. Okay, let's come in here. We'll do a little bit of water lining out first. We need a little touch of our liquid white. It's always a good, every time we have a TikTok malfunction, it always gives the other streams time to catch up. Like I know you guys are over there trying to paint with me too. And so, it gives you guys time to catch up and give me a little pause. Right? Kind of cool. So, you guys just check in, just tell me where you're watching from. And everybody over on YouTube wants to see the spray, but just give me 1 second, okay? Okay, maybe 1 minute. We'll do a little bit of water lining and then we'll hit it with our spray, okay? So we're gonna come in here, scoop up this 90% liquid white, 10% titanium white pile, and let's get out here in this little U shape. That'll indicate that the front's a little closer, those guys are a little further away. Now, if we start pushing and cutting this thing, we have to change the angle. See how first it was up here? But the more we go, the more the angle changes to drop off more paint until it's almost all the way flat against the canvas, right? So if you just continue at that same thing, nothing's gonna happen, right? You're not gonna drop off that paint. It's all about the angle changes. The more flat it is, the more paint is going to contact the canvas, okay? Out here, let's start, run this guy down the middle, whoop, right out there, start running out of paint. It doesn't last forever, right? You gotta get in there and cut it in, down, come out, just meet up with our little friend right there. How's that looking, guys? Oh, I'm liking it. Right? The best part is we can change it. We can get down here. We can pop this guy out. We can mush and push and take all this paint out there, because we know there has to be a little bit of flat area, right? A lot of times you're just not doing enough. Not that you're not using enough paint, but you're just not doing enough. You're not giving it enough room, right? A lot of times you stop at that first go and you're like, wait, I don't like how that looks. I gotta do something else. I gotta do this. I gotta do that, right? All about how it looks. Okay. Get out here, shrink it out a little bit more. There we go. Flatter, flatter. Just turning the angle of the blade. It's like that versus like that. Leave that little ridge out there on the front. Okay. Now we're gonna start to play with some of this water. Obviously, it's back in here. It's connecting on, but they're very horizontal stripes. You know, we're going horizontally to feed back. Gotta go horizontal. So same thing over here. Horizontal stripes, and then we're gonna feed all that stuff together, especially when we hit it with our fan brush, right? Just kind of leaving some stuff out there, and then we can start. And I know it's difficult with this little palette tool, right? A lot of people find it difficult. You can go off on both sides, proving that if you have enough paint and the right angles, you can show that it's kind of feeding up underneath the wave, getting all crazy. Remember, it's a crazy mix of foam and all sorts of stuff. So having little streaks is that, right? You almost want patches of it in there, kind of feeding up inside. Now, let's wipe off our little fan brush. We can come out here and start to soften some of these little details. Start to take it back, up into the wave over here, right? It doesn't have to be so severe either. It's such a severe thing, but that's when you can fix it with your little drags. See how it's taking all that foam, kind of pulling it up. These guys were just going horizontal across the front, not trying to take away every detail, but trying to take away a few. You don't need to see everything, you guys, every time. You don't have to see every bit of paint. You have to leave a bit of shadow up there as it's rolling over, okay? I'm telling you guys these things because I've failed at them numerous times, trying to make it look a certain way, and then when I finally figured it out, guess who I told? You guys, right? Because you guys need to know, watch how far we can get this guy to come out to, right about there is where I want it to be, right? So, I need to figure out what angle does this need to hit in order to make it right there. Now, you can literally fill back all that extra stuff, softly, right out to the edge. See that? Do you see? You can do it either which way. It depends on how much paint you're using, right? All the time. It depends on how much paint we have on the blade or the brush or wherever. Let's come back in, a little bit of our titanium white mix. Turning things, keep them down low though. You don't want them up high like that. There we go. A little bit of action, some bubbles, some ridges, something kind of floating along the top there. Horizontally taken out though. You gotta go horizontal on these things, guys, for reals. Look at all that stuff. It's so gonna roll over, launch its way up here. Now, let's go throw in that spray that everybody wanted to see, the spray bits. So we'll throw in the spray bits. Probably would have been faster to throw in the spray bits, but I also want them after this portion so you can get some bubbles and different little things happening out there in that retracting water, right? So we tap on, using the side of the brush onto the side of the blade, just like that. Tap, 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 just to deposit some of that paint. Then we're gonna change this guy to perpendicular, right? So one's going up this way, one's going this way. We're going to drag it through the blade, which will bend the bristles back, and then launch paint at the canvas, right? Now, depending on the angle we're at, maybe if we want to go straight up, go like that. I'll go over to the side a little bit, we'll change it. Over here, over there, the more we go, the more we spritz and spray. And remember to stay far enough away from your canvas because you will actually hit it and leave a big white mark on there, right? I've done it. I know you guys have done it too. It's not just me out there tapping onto this little thing, tapping onto that little thing. We need to get out here with more little spritzy bits. Just throw them all over my studio, why don't we? Right? The more that you throw out there, the crazier your water looks. It starts looking more and more and more realistic. The more little sprays that you toss, right? Now, your brush can get overly filled, and then it will not spritz out anymore. So make sure that we're only adding very small bits. You can see we haven't even used the remainder of the bristles of the brush on either side, right? Very small amount. They can get down here, they can get down in your sand. It's okay. Let's turn it this way. Start launching them off this side. Right? Spritzing off. The more we get down here, the more I'm pushing to throw more paint at the canvas, okay? Especially down around the bottom of each side, so the bottom right and the bottom left. That's where we want the most amount of spray is deposited. There, right? Don't overdo it. Don't overspray so you lose all of your little details in there. But you have to have enough of that spray to kind of cover some of our painted details. And then you get these two little guys that are going, and it's gonna roll and literally slap down onto the sand. Gonna be fantastic, you guys. Oh, is that not amazing? Is it not amazing? I think it's kind of amazing. I don't know. That's just me. We'll come out a little bit further too. There we go. Down, straightening it down. There we go. Leaving that little ridge. Turning it over. Whatever you gotta do to leave your little ridge out there, guys. Seriously. Dude, that looks so good. I like it. I like it. I like it. Let's go down further though. I want there to be more beach. More of that sandy, that retracting water back there. And in order to do that, you need to have the right amount of paint. Get out here, drop a little of our liquid white, just a little bit. It's very wet down here in this water, right? Very cool. Okay, I like that. I like that. All right, now, we need to mix up about 90% of our liquid white with about 10% of our titanium white again. So let's get a big old pile, just a monstrous, that's a lot of liquid white right there. So I'm gonna need a fair amount of titanium white in order to make that 90-10 mix. Right? Once we get our 90-10 mix, there we go. There we go, we'll have that little bit of our liquid white in there, excuse me, a little bit of our titanium white in there, which is the only thing that's holding our liquid white together, okay? Now, if we come in here, we scrape up just a little bit of that roll of that paint, and there's two different ways to do this. You can come up here, leave a little space in between, right, and just plop on whatever is on the blade, just pull it down like that, right? That's one way to do it. You can do that for the entire thing. If that's easiest for you, then that is how you should be doing it, okay? Just like that, leave a little gap in between. Or you can come up underneath here with the same gap, except we're doing what we did before, which is sometimes a little faster, right? Get up there, scrape it in underneath. But if you have difficulty doing that, right, then obviously do it the other way. You come over here, literally, doesn't matter. We can do it both ways. We can do it all 3 million ways. We can do it upside down if we want to do it. If that was the easiest way to do it, then let's do it upside down. You know what I mean? Over there, over here, literally anywhere. Just to show you, I'll wipe off the thing so there's nothing on there. The paint that's there already makes the same amount of drag, right? No matter if you just scrape it in or if you pull it down. So again, all up to you, and the easiest way for you to do it is gonna be the best way, I always say. Now, let's take our big old 2-inch brush, we're gonna go very vertical with it. I do not wanna be out here because then I can't see where the edge of my line is. If I come down here like this, then I can see right where it is. I can push against it, drag down a little bit, right? We don't wanna have too much of this stuff blend away, and it wants to blend away because it's very wet paint, right? Over our much firmer paint anyway, as far as our sandy brown color, right? With this very wet area. Now, doesn't that look like sand to you guys? I want to ask you a question. That very glossy sandy area right in the front of a wave, doesn't that look like that? Just be honest, be honest. Take a little bit more if we need to. If we think we need it to be a little bit brighter, we can always go back. We can Well, this will be the third way to do it. Literally do it that way if you wanted to, honestly. But does that look like sandy beach, yes or no? We got a lot of no's, you guys. We got a lot of no's. What if we did it like this, though? So literally, same brush, haven't washed anything. Just gonna take all those little streaky poos, right? And nobody likes the streaky poo. We're gonna take all those vertical streaky poos and we're gonna turn them into horizontal streaky poos just by pulling and pushing. And the more that I mix it, the more it's all gonna be the same. And if we wanna retain that little wet area out in front, then we cannot over mix it. Right? If we over mix that area down, then we're hosed. So I'm gonna take a little bit of this right along the edge of that white area and get out there with our little sea foam bits. Right after doing that, does it not look more like that wet, shiny, sandy area? Tell me now, like, honestly, does it look like that? Just yes or no to you, right? A little bit of our liquid white, titanium white mix, just dropping off some little sea foam that came up and got stuck, pulled its way back, right? Gotta have it there, guys, gotta have it there. Take a little bit more stuff. We're gonna start to shrink this guy down as well. We can shrink that one down to where our white almost touches that other white, and you just leave that little space of darkness in there. That's gonna look like a little shadow right underneath your wave. Very cool. Very cool. You don't wanna have too much paint on your blade when you're doing this. Boy, let me tell you what. You don't wanna have too much of anything when you're out there. You don't wanna have too much of a shadow. You don't wanna have too much of that white touching the other half or the other way. Get it down there. Start a little bit higher, wiggle it down, then move over. Start a little higher, wiggle it down, wiggle it down, wiggle it down. You guys know? Wiggle, wiggle. That was a perfect transition, thank you. Appreciate that. Love all you guys, okay? Fabulous. Let's finish this other bit of our line out here. You can start up a little higher, work your way down this way. One way is gonna be easier for you to do it too, right? Doing this straight might be easier, or coming at it from this side, because one way you're dropping it off the back side of the blade, and the other way you're dropping it off the front side. One will be easier for you, so figure out which one that is, and do that one. Check this out. Ooh, guys, watch. Right in there. Boom! Just a little bit of mess is all you're gonna have. You don't all need to connect. Just be literally like a little swipe, a little swipe over here. White there, white there, whatever you want, because it's the quada, right? Very horizontal though, don't get freaking crazy and try to drag them in some other direction, okay? Horizontal only. That's cool. Little bits out there, kind of floating back to the water, headed back. There. The more you add, right, the messier it's gonna get. I like leaving them nice and shiny sometimes. Isn't that fabulous? Now, let's go add in our sand. We'll throw some real sand into this guy. No, not legit like real sand from the beach, but it's gonna look like that by the time we get done. And if I'm fibbing, then you can unfollow me, okay? How about that? How about that? If I don't convince you that this right here is gonna look like sand, then you have permission to leave. You can just go, right? You can dip out and take a little bit of our odorless mineral spirits. I just dipped in the tip of the brush, went over there into my black. Just a little tap out on the edge. You can see how wet and shiny it is. And there's probably too much in here. So what do we always say? You can always start out with less and add more. You can't take it away once it's up there, right? Little bits of black, back up. We're gonna start popping away at this little guy. I'm gonna scoot in, there we go. Now I can see them, right? Little things, we need to have the right amount of paint, the right amount of thinner, and the right amount of pressure on our blade at the right time in order for the thing to work. Right? So we're gonna come back, we're gonna get a little bit more of our thinner and a little bit more of our paint. There, a little bit wetter now, a little darker, there's a little bit more there. Back up again, little flicks. There we go, you see them? You see the flicks? There. Now, don't get stressed if they get up inside your watery area. That's okay, all right? Now, same thing, we're gonna take a little bit of that thinner again. We're gonna go into our brown color this time, our dark sienna brown. Right in there, so you do a little bit of a change, okay? Tapping it in, tapping it onto the side. Oh, geez, that's very wet right there. So what I wanna do, just based off of that, I know it's gonna come out crazy big, so I'm gonna back up. There we go. Now I can start moving in, get a little closer, dropping on these little brown specks. All right, there's brown specks out there. There's black specks out there. What's the next color that comes in that's gonna make it look like sand, guys? Let me know in the comments. What's the next color that we use in order to make it look like a sandy beach? You guys tell me out there in the night. What do you think? White, exactly. All right, so I'm gonna come over this guy. We're gonna start flicking on little specks of white, and then we're gonna move because there's not a whole lot of sandy beach in this one. Little specks. Remember, you don't want to have too much on your brush. Barely dipped it in, teeny tiny amount. Back here, there we go. Tell me this doesn't look like a sandy beach, you guys. Or it was nice knowing you, and we'll see you around, I guess. See you in the next life. If you're gonna unfollow me, there we go. Just a second. A couple little specks. I love getting little specks in this part too, because it looks like bubbles as they're kind of floating backwards. And then you're in control, guys. How many sprays do you want to have on your little sandy area? Fabulous. Phyllis, what do you think of this one? Came out just looking amazing. And we literally only used 4 tools, guys. A 1 and 2 inch brush, fan brush, and then our palette tool to do this whole painting, seriously. And what, we did it in 45 minutes. Come on now. So I need your help, guys. Well, I don't need your help. Phyllis needs your help because she got this painting and she has to come up with a title now. So she may be looking to the comments section for her title. So start typing in, what would you want to call this? Type it out now. And since Phyllis got it before the show, she gets to come up with a title right here, or at least pick one of your titles and tell us what it's going to be. And then we'll go name the painting that. There we go. We also have other ones available in my place. You guys all know how to get to my place. And if you don't, pretty sure you can figure it out. It's just Paint with Josh, and then the dot, and then the 3 letters at the end that you go to for every place online. Right? That's all you gotta do. Go check out what we got over there. Tons of originals, all sorts of stuff, and then we're gonna add our little birdie signature. I love it. Thank you. I appreciate that. Man, it came out so good. The spray bits, the shape of the wave. Fabulous. Thank you for those little confetti deals. Ooh, Lonely Beach, Emotions in Water, Rogue Wave. That's a great title, too. Beach Dreams. I like it. I like it. Dude, those waves. I'm telling you. Totally awesome. Violet Sea, because of the sky color. There's purple in the sea color as well. It just looks a little bluier when you put it with that phthalo green. That's what's funny. This is purple and that's phthalo green, right? But this looks dark blue and that looks light blue. All a trick of the mind. There's a trick of the mind out there. We didn't even make a mess. We pulled out a little bit. The white was where we made the most of our mess, but like seriously, I'm gonna have to clean up after this one. I'm just gonna grab a little paper towel. So you guys let me know what we're gonna call this one. We're gonna pop in our little signature. Because you can't be a Paint with Josh painting if you don't have the 3 birds. Now, Phyllis, I was gonna do black for the birds, right? Do you want white to indicate like seagulls? What do you think? Or the birds could just be far enough away you just can't tell their color. What do you think, white or black? You tell me as far as the birds and I'll put them in. When waves collide, creator's kiss. I like that because it looks like lips, a little smoochy, little smoochy smoocher. When we get down here, we're gonna pop in the old signature. Right down there. I love this Paint with Josh brush, guys. Man, it's Paint with Josh brush, I'm telling you. And we're gonna be doing a final brush push for the end of the release. I choose on the birds. Okay, I've already got black on the brush. Let's go with that. Let's go with that. So hit me with your title again, Phyllis. What are we gonna call this one? We'll go caca. Just as all Paint with Josh birds sound like. That's their call of the wild, the caca. Very neat. Came out amazing. Literally exactly what she asked for. It was a double crasher, purple and teal, and boy oh boy did we deliver. Oh, Holy shaving cream. Shoot, guys. This one came out awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Now, I have an oval stencil that we're going to be doing for the next show, but it's only going to be over on TikTok. Right? So if you're not following me there, you're missing out on so much creation. We're going to be doing this wicked cool oval stencil that I'm going to peel off, and then we'll have like pure white canvas around an oval, just like Bob used to do. But I'm going to do mine horizontally, and then we're going to have Mount Hood with some forest in there. I don't know why I keep catching myself going Hood every time I say like an H, like hey guys. I don't know what it is. I don't like it. I'm starting to notice it more and more often. Okay. You guys come up with a title. Creator's Kiss is what we chose, right? What do you think of Phyllis's title? Is it grand and amazing? Because I think so. I think so. Okay, guys, so we are going to sign this, and then we're going to get out of here so we can come back and do an awesome little oval scene. I don't even know what I'm going to do on the inside, honestly. I'm not a clue yet. Maybe like a sunset. I don't know. Something. We're going to figure it out. Definitely going to figure out what we're going to put on the inside. I did no idea of what is going to be in there, but we're going to figure it out together. That's the best part about Paint with Josh paintings. Even he doesn't know what it's going to look like before it's done. Number 2025 was a big year for Phyllis. Found her passion in painting, which is why she wanted to get this awesome painting here. What are we calling it again? Creator's what? It's perfect. I love it. Thank you. I appreciate that. Was it Chef's Kiss or was it Creator's Kiss? I forget now because my brain doesn't work very well. Creator's Kiss. Okay, cool. That's what I thought. Perfect. Don't watch me write, guys. I have horrible penmanship. Stop watching. Did you hear it again? Horrible. I don't know why I do that. Why? And now I'm going to bring more focus on it as to why I do that. Painted on 8/29/2029. We're all going to go to paintwithjosh.com because it's like the best place ever. You got to go check it out, at least. That's where I'm at, like all the time, literally all the time. Don't watch me write. I told you, don't watch me write. I get nervous, and then I make spelling errors, or my letters look even worse than they usually do. Just don't watch me write, guys. It's excellent. Phyllis, you're amazing. So, let's get out of here quick, and that way we'll keep the tutorial nice and tight and easy to do. And a lot of people look at the time sometimes, they're like, oh, like, over an hour, man, that's going to take me 5 or 6 hours to do. So if I try to keep them under an hour, it seems like people like that a little bit better. So, everybody watching over on the Bookie Book and the Chewies, you guys have been amazing. Thank you all for being here. I love you. Came out great. I'm going to come back and do another show over on TikTok about an hour and 20 minutes from right now, between 7 and 7:15-ish. We'll go live again, doing that really cool oval. No idea what's going to be in it yet. Honestly, no clue. So, if you want, come over and hang out with us over there and check it out. And until I see, actually, I can't wait. There's one more sentence that has to come out. I can't wait to see what your guys' versions look like of this painting. So please send them in to me. Over on the book, it's at Official Paint with Josh. Over on the Tube, it's at Paint with Josh. And over on Instagram, it's at Paint with Josh K. Same as on TikTok, at Paint with Josh K. So, anywhere you follow me out there, you'll be able to find me. And until I see you guys again next time, take care! And the rest of a good day. And wow! Buddy! You guys, what a show. What a show. Look at that water coming in for reals. Amazing. I appreciate you guys.